Good afternoon, creeps. I don't know if you can hear this wonderful rolling water and wind in the background. I am reporting live from Highcliff State Park, and I am here today to see if I can catch a glimpse of the Lake Winnebago monster. Now, there's a lot that goes back in time about this monster. So, apparently it started back with the Native Americans, and they would talk about this river monster that would eat everything from large elk, even all the way up to moose. Now, as time has gone by, many say that, it's just a huge sturgeon. And not long ago, and relative to time, a huge sturgeon was caught that matched the description of this monster. But apparently its belly had been punctured by the horns of something that it had eaten, large enough that it had eaten something that actually had horns. So I thought, I have to go back to Lake Winnebago. Now, as you folks can probably hear by my accent, I am indeed from Wisconsin. As I talked about before, I am your local weirdo Wisconsinite, and I thought, I have never heard of this Lake Winnebago monster. So I'm here today, hopefully the wind's not too bad, to see if I can find it. Now, it's rather windy today. Waves are a little bananas. That's okay. I'm just looking along the coast to see if maybe I can find evidence of what this creature might have been eating. Now here at Highcliff State Park, there's more history than just the monster. Highcliff State Park is apparently haunted. It is the most haunted park in Wisconsin. Now, there's a lot of mojo here. Now, it is Halloween, so let's talk about it. Now, here there's some Indian burial mounds that I myself have been playing on as a child. I can never remember anything crazy, but they are indeed here. People will sometimes talk about the feeling as they're being watched within the woods. Now, me personally, you go into the woods, you see lots of trees, inevitably, you're going to feel like you're being watched, because there's a lot of trees. You can't tell if someone's peeking around them, but that's just something people say. Excuse me if I'm winded, I'm walking from one location to another. I'm walking up the hill a little bit, so I can try and catch a glimpse of a different shoreline. Now, Lake Winnebago is actually a rather large lake. It's one of kind of the highest fished areas, which, if you guys are from around here, I would not eat anything out of Lake Winnebago because it's green. Now it's a little better. It's not quite so windy up here. But I'm walking around, I'm seeing what I can see. Now, the cliffs that are here at Highcliff State Park actually share the same cliffs as Niagara. That's right, all the way up in New York. So, it goes quite a ways. So here I am. I'm kind of looking around the forest. Now, this holiday season, I call it holiday season because it is. Now's your time to see if you can find any sort of spook, specter, or ghost that perhaps you missed as a child. Maybe they're in these very woods. I'm seeing a lot of fallen trees, a lot of odd bark, but like as if the tree is splitting. So I can see how, on the general, these places do feel a little bit spooky. Let's go in a little further. Now the coast that we're going to here is just beyond these trees. So we are going to feel for any sort of experience here in the tree line. Now, I'm whispering because I think I see something up above here, and I'm wondering what it is. You do have to watch your footing around here. So through the forest, kind of following the small trail here. Now, there's some sort of concrete stanchion. I'm seeing. Now this is not. I've been up here more times than I can count, right? Literally been coming here since I'm a kid. And how is it that I managed to pick the one place now that has something I have never seen before? It's a piece of concrete. I'm not sure what it is, folks. I mean, what would he be doing way up here on the hill? It's very, very peculiar. Yes, I almost lost my footing. Nothing on the front. I don't know what that is. I'll be honest, I thought it was a gravestone when I was first walking up on it. The things we see, right? Now, the coast up here is a little. I'm not at the top. You can go up to the top, which I plan on going to here in a little while. But before we get too far into this here, let's talk a little bit more about the Lake Winnebago monster here. Now, I don't know if there's anybody else who is from the states that surround Lake Winnebago, like I am, but I'm sure all of our parents at some point have warned us, hey, don't go far out, right? Something's going to get you. There's, I don't know, mine used to tease. There's something out in the water. And so we were always quite concerned. Now, looking around, still trying to figure out what this concrete thing is. And what I just dropped. Oh gosh, it's gone now. This is live, folks. We're going to find a way to go here. Now, back in the day, when the Winnebago tribe kind of had its villages here, kind of around the shores of the lake, they would actually tell stories, of this very large fish, which most people, even then, so sturgeons are like dinosaurs, even back then, assumed that it was a sturgeon. But, this one was huge, monstrous, if you will. And it had an appetite. Absolutely. Now, legends would talk about this crazy fish, that it would wait along the channel into the Fox River, which, if you know, the Fox River's ginormous. Fun fact, it also flows backwards. But anyways, I digress. Fox River, and it would snatch deer, elk, and even moose. Now, it's strange because I don't believe that moose exist down here in where I am in Wisconsin, but that's what they said that they would eat. Now, the words used would be, quote, it would eat them, horns, hide, hooves, and all. Which is pretty crazy. Let's walk a little further here. Another fun fact is that none of these people from the Winnebago would cross the channel or swim near the channel in fear that this monster would get them, would eat them. Now, years went by. I touched upon this earlier. Years went by, and then one day, some men spotted a dark form floating in the water. Now, they're like, this is crazy. What is this? Now, it turns out it was the monster. So they hauled it ashore, and they found that the cause of death was the antlers from whatever it had eaten, had pierced its belly. So, as a strange side, it seems that whatever its prey was kind of, got its revenge in the end. I'm stopping because it does sound, I could have sworn it sounded like someone was walking around me. I am by myself. There's nobody with me. There's nobody around me. I see one car through the trees. I don't see anything. Okay, let's keep walking. I tell you, it's the season, folks. It's the season. So many believe that even though that particular monster was caught, killed and then found, that its descendants kind of grew up and took its place. So that today's day and age, there is indeed still a Winnebago water monster, but that it's just its kin, which is kind of crazy. Now, Lake Winnebago is not a particularly, super deep body of water. The average depth is, I think I read about 15 and a half feet or so. And at the deepest, 21 feet. So, there are other bodies of water that are much, much deeper. But it still manages to carry quite a wallop of a story. Now, you guys can probably still hear me here. I have left the little wooded area that was creeping me out. I'm headed down this little shoreline here. I'm up on one of the smaller cliffs so that we can kind of take a look. Now, if any of you guys like to fish or know about fish, you guys know that sturgeons are literally a prehistoric species. They even look prehistoric. These guys literally look like floating dinosaurs. If you've been lucky enough to catch one or eat one, sturgeon, they're large. They can be really large. Now, these guys are also because they are meat eaters, which is true. I don't know if they're eating moose nowadays, but they are meat eaters. So if you're swimming in the lakes where this Winnebago monster could be, if you feel something nibbling at your toes, it could very well be a sturgeon. Because they, if you were toast, on to the afterlife, they'd eat you. They'd eat part of you. Sorry, guys. You just returned to, where you came from. That's just acid, right? So they will nibble your toes, and that freaks people out. Because next time you get a chance, you should take a look at a sturgeon. I will put up pictures of this crazy prehistoric beast so that you can take a look. Now I'm just continuing on my way here. You probably hear me heavy breathing. I wanted to do this live, but the reception up here is not particularly great. So I figure we'll do a recording and you guys can listen along. Now I'm just crossing over here. Now this park is fairly massive. I mean, the lower part is kind of like where most people hang out, do the barbecue thing, in the summer when it's not so cold. You can swim. I would not swim in Lake Winnebago. Again, it is green most of the time, so I would not, but I'm sure I have at some point in my life, but probably not crazy swimming. And come up here to barbecue. There's a little boat launch here. Typical Midwest fun activities. Little does everybody know that this lake monster is floating potentially right off the shore, just waiting to nibble on whatever scrumptious little being or big being decides to wander into their barbecue land. So there's that. I will say here in the fall is a wonderful park to come to. Highcliff State Park. We've been coming here, like I said, forever. I like the upper half. It's a little more rustic. Although I haven't been there in a long time, that's where I'm headed next. So we're going to take you with me. It is windy today, so I really do hope this recording is sounding okay. Now, I'm hoping to do more of these. So if you like these in the field type of things, the segment, I'm going to continue to call it Creep in the Streets, where I find locations of either creepy beings, creepy locations, creepy history, the theme, creepy. So here we go. Okay, guys, we're going to head up to the upper. Meet back up with you here in a minute. Alright, we're back, folks. We are continuing on our journey at Highcliff State Park. Much less windy up here. Now this is an area where I have been coming since I was a little creature. A baby creep, if you will. And I've hidden in these woods, I've walked around in these woods, and I can say there are two sections of this road, this trail, that have always creeped me out. Now, the general area for this trail, it's like what you think. You know, nice looking trees, everything's changing colors. You can see open to your left and your right. But this part is like kind of in a back pocket of the upper area. I just remember it being kind of dark and boggy. My dad used to creep on my mom and I as we would walk a trail. He would take the long way around just so you would turn and see the shadow moving behind a tree. And he always got us. Maybe that's why I'm always looking for the Sasquatch, because that was my dad in my mind. My dad is big dude. Anybody that knows him, he's big. So he's always looked like a Sasquatch. His feet are definitely big enough to be a Sasquatch. Come to a fork in the road. Hold on. Now, when I look down the left way, it's a little more yellow. The leaves are turning, but it's sunnier. When I look down the right way, there's some creepy trees. Let's go the creepy way. Here we go. Into the darkness. It's like a field trip. This would be so cool if I did like a class out on trails to include historical information from my childhood, but about creepy stories and letting the group kind of choose your own adventure. That would be so much fun. That's right, real crows, folks. Not a sound effect. That's when you know you really got the creep vibe going on. Now I'm looking to my left, and I can see where someone could get creeped out, because you can't quite tell where the trees touch, don't touch, are behind each other. Could something slide out in between them? I'm sure. Oh, it was just that phobia that I shared the other day, where you essentially think you're seeing someone, the psychic effect? I have to look it up. It's going to drive me crazy now. But it's like the same effect as if you're in a dark room, all the lights are turned off, all the windows are closed, and you can swear that you see people. There's like a phobia that's associated with that. I can see where people could get that there. Oh, there's a deer. We're staring at each other. She's absolutely beautiful. She stopped me dead in my trails. We're staring each other down. She's looking behind me, but I don't want to turn around. Okay, we're gonna go. She's like, she's a tripod. That's crazy. She only has one front leg. That's great. Oh, but she still goes. Bye. Oh, beautiful white-tailed deer. Squirrel. Sorry, can't help it. Nature. I know you guys are here for creepy stuff, but she was an amputee. Not that that's creepy, but a deer with only 3 legs. Anyway, let's continue on our journey. On a side note, to really enhance my degree of nerdy. Oh, little deer. Hi. Oh, she's going. Degree to increase my nerdy. If you see a post about it, or if you hear my inhaler, it's because I'm also asthmatic. So just ignore it. But I'm also chubby, so there's that. Still on the trail. Just taking you guys with me here. Looking for those creepy spots. Now the Indian burial mounds, why did that? It's because it's cold. They're not located where I am. They're on the other side of the park. There is a fence here. It's quiet. You guys are doing great. Well, there's people. Heart attack. It's the middle of the woods in the afternoon, which usually this place is, there's nobody here. I looked up and I saw a dude in a black jacket. I'm afraid if I stop them and interview them, they're going to be creeped out. And they have a dog. Should I just start talking to myself? I'm afraid the dog's gonna get freaked out. No, I can't, they're old. Hello. Hi, cutie. They had a dog with them. I had to say, hey, cutie. Oh, another fork in the road. Left side goes sunny. Oh, right side goes sunny, left side into the darkness. Let's go. This effect is something, because as you look at your left-hand side, it's the same trees on the right. However, the ones on the left do not have sun behind them, so it just looks like it gets darker and darker and darker. With all these trees. I'm going to try not to eat it with one of these tree roots. I doubt anybody is going to make it to the end of this recording. But don't worry, we're almost there. I guess if I was your guide, I should be better about stories and things like that as we go and not just tell them all at once. Okay, we're headed into part of the forest here. It's changing colors. It's kind of strange. It literally goes from all yellow trees, boom, and it starts like as if there's an invisible wall. And it does appear to be slightly smoky. I always hear these old stories about, haunted parks, haunted forests, haunted graveyards. Like, all these places seem like it should be a peaceful mindset there, But it's always usually what is underneath the ground, the earth, or what happened maybe on the earth. Say you built a house in a place where there was lots of death, like a mass grave or something like that, then the house might be haunted. Or like here, where the Indian burial mounds are here, and this was native land, now it's not. And kind of that old ancient history, what went beyond those groups of people. Alright guys, I'm just going to stop for a second here. What is that? Fun fact, a little recap for those just tuning in or scrolling down and missing things. The Highcliff state park here, the little cliffs that actually are part of this particular park, extend all the way up to New York, which is crazy, right? We believe that the locations are haunted because of old tribal burial mounds, and there was also a lime kiln here, so that was used. Many workers, deaths. And then, of course, the main reason that I came to the park today was to take a look down the water and see if I could see the Lake Winnebago monster. So that was a quick little recap. We're still walking through here. I cannot get over, I've talked about this, 2-3 times now? It does. Like, even if I just stand here in one solid place, right? Just look around with my eyes. Like, you almost get the effect as if your eye is just missing the glimpse of somebody walking behind a tree. Like, you don't see actual movement, just that trick of the eye that makes you think that you did see it. So we're going to leave that area. We're going into the light. Y'all are going to hear me tripping more than anything, because these roots stick out of the ground. So anyway, we are taking the trail back over into the light, literally into the sun. It feels so good. We're seeing if we can find anything, old building pieces, anything that might indicate people lived up here. Because I know on the fields that I think are just to the left of us, I remember Mom and I used to find pieces of old clay bottles, glass bottles, jars, where you can tell that it used to be a house, and then they had just, plunked a barn on top of it. So I'd be curious to know, were there settlers that were here? I'm sure, because the Winnebagos used to be here, the tribe, and then they weren't. So we kind of know the history of that, where everyone was getting their land taken over. There's that turmoil too. Just keeping you guys posted on what I see. Ooh, we're coming into a dark part of the forest, y'all. Okay, we're going to be brave together. Oh, that squirrel. Holy moly. He scared the bejesus out of me. I'm jumpy. Here we go. Now there are trees that are leaned over. They almost look like they've been set on fire. But I guess they could be old. So there's a bunch of fallen trees on this side. The other side, where it was that weird effect, all of them were just vertical all the way around, like little toothpicks. And here, there's much more fallen trees. Now, if I was smart, I would have brought my EMF detector. Well, I think I'm almost back to the vehicle. I haven't seen anything. Didn't see any ghosts today. That water creeped me out, because I'll say, you go out there, the water itself is going to just take you down, because the waves are so high. But we didn't see any remnant of anything the lake monster could have gotten them, and no bones, no nothing. So, while we didn't find anything today, we did get some exercise, and you guys got to hear me out in the field. So tune in next time. We got one more to do this month in Creeptober. I'm going to give the top locations in all 50 states of either a creepy location, creepy history, or creepy person, my favorite one from each state. So you can hopefully be a creep in the streets yourself and check out something cool in your town. Take care, guys.